My bloody Galentine. Girl, that's exactly what this dinner was. And I'm ready for Stormy to get the hell up out of here because your serves no purpose. Cue the music! Oh yes, bitches and hoes. I'm back.
I'll drop a player like it's nothing, it ain't working out. Now no debate or fuck discussion, bitch, I'm walking out. My time is money, I ain't loving, let you toast it out. Flip my weave and walk it out, look how I just bossed it out. Now come on baby, why you bugging, we can't talk it out. I keeps it moving, I ain't tripping, lost another spouse. I'm just a boss, it's in my blood, no I won't scream or shout. Grabbing my key.
Cause oh yes, bitches and hoes, I'm back. Back with another video and we here to discuss. Wait, before that, happy Mother's Day. I'm a mama. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It's our day. Let's enjoy ourselves, pamper ourselves, manis, petties, dinner, wine, whatever it is, girl. Do your thing. But yeah, we're back with another episode. And this is Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 4, episode 7, My Bloody Galentine. Listen, let me tell you something. Before we get into this review, Stormy has literally reached a nerve. I didn't even think she could get past Tiff. Messy Tiff. Stormy, it's time for you to go fat. You don't even have no substance. Why are you here? That's what I want to know about you, Stormy. Why are you even here? Like, you look ghetto. You look, your face, go bye. Go home. Go home, Stormy. Go home. But let's get into the doggone episode. So the episode opens up. Kimmy goes over to Madani to see Lioness Destiny. And we know she lying ass because we know about the welfare fraud. Anyway, yeah. So she goes and never sees Lioness Destiny in the beauty store at, what is it, Madani? But the thing is, ain't nobody never in there. Come on now. Do people be coming to that store? I'm pretty sure they do. Or do she, like, close it down when it's time to film? I'm confused. Because I know, baby, I be needing the beauty stores to be open. Ain't no way you gonna shut it down to film, baby. I need to come in here and get this gel. Get me another wig or something. You know, needle and thread. Like, what's going on? But Kimmy goes and she wants to actually ask Destiny what's really going on between her and Mel. She was like, because, you know, you guys have been friends and y'all normally have y'all little thing go tit for tat. But this one seems a little different. Destiny doesn't know. Destiny's just like, look, your guess is basically as good as mine. I've asked this girl on many occasions. She claimed it's because Tisha was her enemy. I didn't know she was her enemy. And now all of a sudden, this is where we are. Well, Kimmy brings up the fact that, well, Mel did say you apologize. And if you apologize, that's kind of like an admission of guilt. Like, yeah, I did do something wrong. Basically, Destiny says that she only apologized to her to say if she felt like she was talking about her, but she wasn't. I ain't gonna lie, it gave me a screwed up face like Kimmy. I'm like, what? Because if I literally didn't talk about you, I would have nothing to apologize for. Even if anything, I would try to convince you not to feel that way. But to apologize is, I don't know, it's a bit weird. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I will give Destiny this. Destiny says that Mel feels away because she hangs out with her arch nemesis or her enemy, which is Tisha. She said she even wanted her to cut Martell off. She said, but if that was the case, I would want her to cut somebody and other people off too. Is you talking about Labarius? That's what I feel like you talking about, Labarius. Oh, he must have really put a gag on you. You ain't never said that man's name. Say his name, say his name. You refuse. But yeah, she was like, it's childish and it's high school. And you know what? It is true. I'm not even gonna lie. I used to like Mel. I don't dislike her now. Because when she's right, she's right. I just feel like Mel do have this childish way of thinking and moving. Everybody's not gonna just stop dealing with people because you mad at them or you beefing with them. That's not even adult-like. Like, what are we doing here at this point? But she goes, yeah, it's the same as if I wanted her to stop hanging with so-called people, which we all know is Labarius. Well, Kimmy says that she wants to put something together and do like a girls' night thing, maybe do something, set something up so that the girls can sit down and have a conversation. Destiny was like, you know, I mean, you go ahead and set it up, but I don't know how it's really gonna work because she hadn't really been talking to Mel at all. So I think that's gonna be something that they're looking out for. But Kimmy says she's gonna set it up, be a mediator, moderator, whatever you want to call it, and she's very good at that. We move to the next scene. Marcel goes visit Maurice down at his company. I ain't gonna lie, Marcel, you was looking cute when you got out that truck with that, what you call them kind of jackets? It looked like a little pea coat or whatever it was. Marcel, you was looking cute. You was cute. You was cute. I'm gonna give you props when you do. I always say this about men especially. In women, but especially men. You can tell a man's style in the winter, not the summer. Because see, you gotta put pieces together in the winter. Martell, Marceau was looking good. Shout out to you, Marceau. But he basically is letting us know that this guy wants him to build four new apartments. No, 4 new buildings, 4 new hotels, I'm sorry. This guy wants him to build 4 new hotels and even another apartment building. One thing about Marceau and Tisha, they getting to the money. You got to know that. They getting to the money. And shout out to Marceau for getting those deals. I like Marceau. I think he is snake in the grass, but I like Marceau. I've always liked Marceau. So I think that's super dope. Well, he brings up the fact that now Martell wants to buy back into Scope. But he said the problem is Tisha is the majority share owner because I guess Tisha went and brought Martell shares and now she has the majority of shares. So I'm like, I saw it live with Kiki and I saw it and she was basically saying that, how do you say it? She was basically saying that Tisha is not as slow as we think she is. You know what I'm saying? And when you really start to break down and pull back the layers of what she do and how she do it, she really is got to be smart. Because she went and brought the majority shares back, out of Martell, and now she's in charge. Like Marceau said, I can't do nothing. Tisha's the one who can only do it. And Tisha ain't here for it. Basically, Maurice brings up the fact that, y'all did have a bad trouble business relationship in the past. And they did the flashback of Martell basically trying to throw out that he was cheating just like Martell and, bringing personal stuff into business. And there was a rumor that, I guess Martell said that Martell was going around telling people that they stole that 47 acres, the land from them, and Marceau was like, that never happened, and a whole bunch of drama and all this stuff. And Maurice is basically like, you need to think about that type of stuff, going forward. But what I do like about Marceau is he said, I did make mention that I would never work with Martell again in that capacity because of those type of issues. He said, but I do believe in giving people second chances. And I think that this way, if we do something small, like go do Destiny's business, do her building or something like that, that would be something small we could work on, but just not enough, to be too fully invested, if it makes sense. Now, Maurice is just like, I feel you, bruh, but y'all got to get that whole leadership versus partnership thing together. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the person in charge. Is what it is. Because guess what? Martell ain't got no doggone builder's license. And speaking of builder's license, let's move on. We'll get to it. I'm sorry. We ain't getting there yet. Mel go sees Dominique, which is her psychotherapist. Dominique is another black psychotherapist in the psychology field. Shout out to Dominique. Everybody, if y'all around there and y'all need them, maybe she do online consultations or something, holla at her. I always support black women. But she goes see her psychotherapist, Dominique, and they have a conversation, and it leads to basically her psychotherapist asking her, how does she deal with situations, because last year she was so zen and so calm. How does she deal with them now? And Mel goes on to say, well, this year I'm more responsive. Like, I'm not just going to cower away and just let people just say whatever they want, do whatever they want. I'm going to respond. She said, but what I do to keep myself out of those situations, because the therapist asked her, how does she set boundaries? She said she just don't put herself in those situations. That's a good thing to do. And even if the therapist, or amen did and everything, but she said, we got to practice self-control. I want you to go to this party because, she mentioned that she had the party that Kimmy had invited her to. She said, I want you to go to this girls' night out, but be able to control yourself. Like, that's your homework assignment, for this week or for whatever. Mel gets in her confessional and was like, I appreciate the advice, but basically I'm going to do what I want. And I was like, well, why are you paying the lady? Why are you paying the lady, Mel? I'm confused. But why even pay the lady? It doesn't even make sense. But anyway, we move to the next scene. Martell go see his business partner, Fred. I want to say Fred is the one that they was working on the house and Mel pulled up on him in the Range Rover and they was out there about to fight. But he goes see his friend Fred And they have some stuff going on. I guess Martell closed on a property or something like that. And he was showing them that. Basically, Fred is like, bro, when is you gonna get these builder's license? Here, I got the book, highlighted all the stuff you need. It's gonna be easy, 1, 2, 3. When you gonna get it? Martell feels like he don't need to get his builder's license because you got one. What I'm gonna need to do that for? And Fred had a good response. What happens if me and you fall out? And he goes, no, he said, it's not like, with me and Mel, and that even took 12 years. But, we're men. Men can typically work things out. I don't see that happening with you and me. But, it just don't make sense. If you got the license, I don't really need the license. He even goes further in his confessional and get in there and say, Mel had the license, and when she left, I guess that had made him not have the license. But he feels like working with Marceau and Fred, who has the business license, that not the business builder's license, I'm sorry, he doesn't need to go get his own. And I was like, see, this is why I know, and I already said it, when y'all got divorced and Mel walked away with everything, you left you destitute with nothing. You are lazy, Martell. That is a lazy way of thinking. That is a dependent way of thinking. And honestly, I feel like if you wasn't with Mel, you wouldn't be nowhere near where you are today. You'll just be a swole dude in the hood, in a neighborhood that nobody care about, working at T-Mobile or something. Boy, everything you've gotten is off the strength of somebody else. At what point are you going to be dependent? Not be dependent, but be independent as a man. As a man, shouldn't you want to have your own thing going on? Like, make it make sense. You know what? As a male, you should want to be a man. Let's just say that. You'd rather go off the backs of all these other men instead of make your own thing and pave your own way. You can have your own contracts and all that stuff. It just doesn't make sense. And it was such a turn off. I hate men that talk like that. It was just such a turn off. Don't depend on me. Shit. Don't do it. I can't deal. Anyway, we move to the next scene. It's the night of the Galentine's dinner. We find that Messy Tiff is the bartender because we found out she was a bartender down there in Vegas. Kimmy is over there saying that she wants everything to go well. She's hoping everybody comes in and want to have a conversation. But I know how the girls can get. The girls can get real rowdy. Maybe I should have got a bouncer or something because, the girls can really go. You know what I mean? So Messy Tiff is saying she's hopeful that everything works out well. This is what I like about Tiff this episode. Child, Tiff ain't open her mouth. Tiff sat there and ate her popcorn, drank her champagne, and watched all the tea unfold. I'm here for it. But all of a sudden, Tisha walks in, looking cute with her sweatshirt. What it say? Wife Club or something like that. And she came in, and Tisha was kind of throwing a dig at Tiff and was like, "Oh, you back behind the bar, you the bartender. That's the best thing you do. You know what I'm saying? That's where you belong," or something to that effect. And child, Tiff was like, "Yeah, your husband don't like surprises." I was like, "Is y'all throwing shade at each other already? We ain't even sat down yet." Girl, it was just too much. Well, anyway, everybody else started arriving. Stormy arrives with Mel. They all go sit down. Mel feels a type of way because she says she came in and spoke to everybody, but Tisha didn't acknowledge her. And it's so funny because she also goes on to say, I hadn't spoke to Tisha or seen Tisha in months, so I don't understand. Hell, wasn't you just on a whole slander Tisha tour to everybody who had an ear? What? Why should she want to speak to you? Why would she even want to acknowledge you? You going around telling people the girl is your enemy, but you walk in and feel like, oh, she not acknowledging me. What she need to acknowledge you for? Are you crazy? Like, I really don't get Mel sometimes. Because why would you even want her to acknowledge you if you don't like her and she's your enemy? Tisha did the right thing, because if Tisha would have spoken, you would have said something crazy, then it would have popped off. I wouldn't have spoke to you neither. I'm confused. Am I tripping? Like, Mel have a problem, and I know you Mel stands ain't gonna see it, but it is what it is. She need not be worried about Tisha acknowledging her. That's your enemy, right? You don't need to acknowledge your enemy as long as you can keep your eye on them. You don't need to acknowledge that. She don't need to acknowledge you, child. You tried it. Girl, Mel just be blowing me sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. But anyway, Mel, they all sit down. They play this game. I guess it's called positives versus misconceptions or something like that. So they all writing down positives on one side and then what people misconceive about them. The first one says that I like to help people, but they think I'm selfish, and it ends up being Mel. And I don't know if that was a dig, because I've been finding out through the girls on YouTube that Mel had known Destiny a couple of dollars, thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? When you was going through it with love areas. I was like, cause see, I'm messy. I be catching all the tea and all the shade. I was just like, oh, was that shade? Cause why would she write that? Okay, Mel, I caught it. The next one said, I'm fun. I like to have a good time. But the misconception is that I don't care about people and their feelings. That turns out to be Tisha. Tisha says, yes, that's me. She said, but I really wish that I could have changed it and say that I really believe that people think that I'm naive, and that's a misconception about me. Mel gets into her confessional and was just like, girl, you definitely naive, for lack of better terms. Like, girl, please, what you mean people think you naive? But no comment. I'm going to leave it there. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to side with maybe she's not that naive. I ain't going to hold y'all. I think, this is my theory. I think that Tisha is the type of person where she's in a marriage because marriage is valuable to her. She's from the South. I know. Women, black women all together as a collective a lot of times, but especially in the deep South, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, that is a value, right? Not to mention, coupled with that, they are doing extremely well business-wise. Extremely well business-wise. I'm talking about not just him, both of them. As we just saw, she just bought the majority shares from one of the other companies. So she ain't no dummy. I don't believe she's a dummy when it comes to the Marceau thing. I really don't. I don't think she's naive. I just think that in the South, she can't be saved probably. This is my theory. Please. But I believe that because she's in the South, she can't say out loud that I don't give a damn what Marceau do. We gonna be married and we gonna get this money. And we gonna create this generational wealth for these kids. And we gonna do everything we need to do. I'm not stupid. If you think I don't think Marceau ain't never did nothing, you done lost your mind. I'm just not about to let y'all, us, you know what I'm saying? Not about to let y'all break up my marriage, number one. And number two, child, look, we got too much at stake. Ain't about to divorce him. That's my theory. I'm sorry, that's my theory. I don't believe she that naive neither. Hell, even Kiki on her live said she's not naive. That people think she's naive. And you know, Kiki said a couple of other things that kind of came into fruition on this episode. But, you know, we'll get there. So Mel hollering no comment, child, go sit down. Because you was naive too. As women, we've all been naive. Don't even do that. So the next one basically says, what's the next one? The next one says, I'm empathetic and quirky, but people think that I'm unapproachable. Tisha goes Tiffany, like immediately. And Tiffany was like, dang. Like, what? But it turns out it's Stormy. Stormy said because she typically be in her hole, she look unapproachable. People think she can't approach, she can't be approached, and she really be, at home. She don't be outside in the street. Well, if you stop your face from doing this, maybe people would want to approach you. All I'm saying. But yeah, it fit. It absolutely fit. The next one, Messy Tiff. Her say that she's a nice person, but the misconception is that she's not messy. Now, Kimmy had to say, hold up. So that means you are messy. And she goes, no, I'm not. She said, well, if it's a misconception, you can't say I'm not messy. You got to say the misconception is I'm messy. And I'm just like, girl, bye. Destiny said that basically her misconception is people think that she's aggressive. Kimmy was taken aback. Kimmy was just like, for real? Like, you are aggressive, really. Mel got in her confessional and said, girl, that was the whole theme last year. You was aggressive. I think she can be in certain situations, which we will see here later on tonight. But ultimately, we all have that trait. All of us. Everybody gets out of pocket. Everybody. So it's not like, I don't like that they just put it on Destiny, because probably Destiny will pop off quicker. But if that's the case, Stormy hella doggone aggressive. If you ask me, hell, even Messy Tiff, she came in jumping off the porch, spilling tea about people's kids. If that's the case. Mel, you pulled up on your ex-husband to fight him. All of us are aggressive. I just don't like that they put it on her like as if they don't do aggressive things as well. We gotta stop doing that, black women, because y'all be hating when white people call us aggressive. But then you can sit in the room with each other and say that we're aggressive. We all aggressive, all of us. It just is what it is in my Cynthia G voice. We all aggressive, period. Like, don't put that on one person, because that's not okay. Everybody at this table, Tisha, everybody at this table has had an aggressive moment. Now, maybe she might be aggressive more often than the others. That's fine, but don't coin it on her like as if she's just this aggressive person. But yeah, I didn't think that was right. We moved to the next. Oh, well, we still in the scene. Child, Tisha was like, well, look, since we all sitting down here, you know, lollygagging, slapping five, and reading cards, let's just get to the real tea. I heard y'all had a whole party that I wasn't invited to and drug for me the whole time. Like, the whole party was about me. And I'm trying to see what's up. Like, what's going on? Because whatever y'all had to say, I wasn't there to defend myself, but you could say it right now to my face. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Another thing Kiki said in that live was that y'all think Tisha is all meek, mild, and mannered, but Tisha could throw them dogs. Tisha could throw them hands. That's what she said. When Tisha said what she said and moved that ponytail to the side and said, say it in my face, I saw it. I saw the other side of the tracks come up out of there. And you know, you got to be tough to survive them type of conditions. I know, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. You got to be tough. You ain't going to grow up without having to fight. It just ain't going to happen. Tisha was ready to throw them hands. I mean, she came in her tennis shoes. Why not? And you know, any black person know when it's a dress-up event and somebody in their tennis, they come because they're ready to fight. So Tisha goes, so what's up? Like, what y'all was saying? Mel goes, we did not discuss you the entire party, number one. Number two, and I'm like, Mel, why is you backpedaling? Say what you said. Keep the energy you've been having. Say what you said. Oh, because it wasn't talking about you the whole party. It was just like, you know, we had a conversation because it got brought up. And Tisha was like, look, you've been talking about me and about my husband. Actually, I even had a conversation with Kiki, who told me you kept trying to get her to bring me up. So Mel goes, she said what? Mel got on that phone. Kiki, I'm letting you know right now. I got you here on speakerphone, your cousin right here. Did I try to have you bring anything up? And then Tisha hollers, and you best be honest, Kiki. Kiki was like, oh, you know, that's all I'm going to do is be honest. So then all of a sudden, Kiki hollers, no, we didn't really, I didn't talk about her. I just kind of like chimed in and said some stuff. And then Kimmy goes, Kiki, let me help you. Girl, you was dragging for her. I even had to tell you, you need to call her and talk to her about this one-on-one. You shouldn't be at this party doing this. And she did. And she absolutely did. Kiki started backpedaling. I believe Kiki went back and told Tisha that Mel was trying to get her to bring it up. And that was probably how, because remember, this is before all the recent shit has been, you know, it's being exposed. This is during taping. I believe it. I believe Kiki felt like this scene is going to play and it's going to look bad on me. So let me just go over there and tell her that, hey, look, I'm going to be talking about you. But it wasn't because, you know, I want the drag for you. It was really more or less because, you know, they tried to get me to bring you up. Then Mel was like, do this, do this, do this. Because, you know, they all plot this stuff before these scenes. So Kiki then responds and say, honestly, you only came up because Stormy brought you up. And then she said, but I said what I said and I didn't say nothing false. Kimmy had to say, well, that's not the same. Like, you're still talking about her. Who cares if it's true or false? You're still dragging for your cousin. Like, what the hell? Girl, they get off the phone. But at this point, Tisha's over it. Tisha was like, look, she's saying Stormy brought me up. Stormy saying she brought me up. Like, what's he? Like, what y'all trying to do? Like, what is y'all saying? Because at this point, it's just a bunch of BS and back and forth. And listen, I used to hang in a large group of girls when I was younger. And that taught me a lot. I will never do it again. Because this type of stuff, that telephone messy shit, is very, very prevalent. Very prevalent. I would not recommend it. If you got a group of girlfriends and y'all solid, shout out to y'all. But I'm talking about just on some regular, everyday, schmegular shit. I can't hang with a whole bunch of girls. I hang with a whole bunch of dudes, and it don't never be no mess. I'm just saying. Don't get me wrong, men is messy too, but it don't be like that. But I just Mel basically was trying to put it on Kiki and was like, girl, look, that was your cousin. And then Tisha Hollis was speaking to cousin, how y'all get to hook up and be at the party and be cool and all that stuff? Because y'all not friends. And then Mel goes, no, actually, I've been knowing her, for a while. And like Tisha said, I gotta be right when I'm right. Tisha said, you can meet a lot of people, but that don't mean you cool. Y'all ain't never hung out. You and I were friends for 5 years. I've never seen you talk to my cousin, hang around my cousin, none of that. Even Kimmy said that at the very beginning. Kimmy was like, I've never seen Kiki at nothing. Like, where did this come from? Like, how did Kiki come into this whole thing? She's never hung out with her, at least that we know of. Mel low-key kind of like agreed that she wasn't that cool with her. But talking about, I invited her because she never had nothing negative to say about me. Again, I believe it was all plotted out the way it was. I believe that Kiki was telling the truth when she said Mel wanted me to bring you up. That was the whole purpose of her inviting her to the damn party. You not friends with that girl. You not. It just doesn't make sense. But Tisha's whole thing is, I just don't understand why you even invite my cousin to a party to talk about me. Destiny chimes in and say, I find it funny that you invited her blood cousin and she's supposed to be your enemy, yet you mad with me because I'm cool with this girl. Mel Hollis, I am not mad that y'all are cool. I don't have an issue with that. That's not my thing. My only issue with you was, Destiny, you were talking about me. So now this goes into that whole thing. Destiny was like, girl, I did not talk about you. I did not drag for you. You making it seem like I was out there dragging for you. Now, Destiny, you a liar. So I don't know for sure if you wasn't. But I want to say I believe you. But since you done lied about the welfare, I'm squinting my eyes. Because, girlfriends, this is the thing. We all women. When you with somebody, or you with your homegirl or whatever, and one of them ain't there, even if you just recapping something, it do be coming off shady because you gonna say some shit that you wouldn't have said in the presence of that person. You feel me? So I don't think she was like dragging for Mel, but I think Mel just needed a reason to be mad. But I do think in trying to, I guess she said they were recapping or whatever what happened on stage, I think it could have came off a little shady, and it probably was shady towards Mel. You know what I mean? Because I guess it was right after that whole scene with Tisha and Mel damn near getting into it and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I really feel like it was blown out of proportion. But Destiny had a very good question. How is it that you mad at me for being friends with her, but you invite that girl whole blood cousin to the party? Like, it don't make sense. So when Destiny brings up Mel basically didn't invite her to the party because she was cool with her enemy or her op, Tisha chimes in and goes, what's that? What's a op? I'm like, girl, the other side of the tracks, girl. Kimmy had to break it down and say, girl, it's a military word short for opposition, girl, meaning you the enemy, fat. That's all that means. So now Tisha was like, wait a minute, I didn't even know I was doing all this. And then Destiny and Mel are trying to have a back and forth, but Tisha keeps chiming in because she want to know, wait, when did I become an enemy? Like, I know we ain't cool, but hold up, that's big, fat. What is you saying? So then Mel turns around and tell her she needs to shut up and told her, bitch, I'm not talking to you. Baby Tisha hopped up and was ready to throw blows, as she should, because you're not about to disrespect me. Listen, another thing Kiki said on that live, Tisha be throwing them hands. Tisha came in her tennis shoes. She jumped up and was ready for the smoke. Mel, you got up, but I don't think you were the one, fat. You wasn't even dressed for the occasion. She probably would have pulled your wig off and you would have fell with the heels, fat. I don't know. I just feel like it went left. Mel, you did not have to call the girl a bitch. You just didn't. Even if you felt like she was being rude or disrespectful for chiming in when she wasn't talking to her, you're wrong. Kimmy jumps up and tries to stop them and then like, hold up, because these heifers about to fight. Kimmy goes over there and tells Mel basically, look, you got to stop because you is wrong for calling her out her name. And Mel was like, but she always do this. And she was like, I get it. But before you got here, I literally told everybody that we're not going to use the word girl because it's a trigger. And we're not going to disrespect people calling them out their names. You can't do that. You're wrong for that. You can't do it. Mel feels like, but you put me in an environment where I gotta react, da, 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 da. But if she would have called you a bitch, Mel, you wouldn't have liked it. It was a very appropriate response for you calling her a bitch. For, even if you felt like what she did was rude. It was other ways you could have approached that and been like, girl, mind your business, or, like, whatever. But to call her a bitch, I understand why Tisha stood up and was ready to throw blows. But thank God they didn't fight, y'all, because we don't want them to fight. These is business women. We want these to be classy girls. We don't want them to be the love and hip-hop girls. We want them to be classy-based. In my Spunky Dineva voice. Classy-based. We want them to be classy-based. So, child, that settles down. Mel brings up the fact that she feels like every time she try to have a conversation and discuss something with Destiny, Tisha always chimes in. They did the flashback from the reunion, and basically at the reunion, she was saying that she likes to unplug after the show, and I guess maybe Tisha made a face or maybe squirted or squirted, God. Did a grunt or something like that, and Mel took that as her chiming in. I guess. Tomato, whatever. But Destiny and Mel are the ones that need to have the conversation. I understand Tisha saying, look, I'm not trying to chime in, but if you talking about me while I'm sitting here, I'm going to chime in. I get that. But Tisha, you could have definitely waited until after they had their conversation, and then you could have been like, so why are we ops again? What happened? Because I didn't know I was an enemy. Can you please explain that to me? Stormy decides that maybe it's too much action going on. I got to say something because my faces ain't making the camera time. So let me come in and just say something. And in my mind, I was like, why don't you just take a page out of Messy Tiff's book? Tiff is sitting there sipping her wine, girl, her champagne. Tiff ain't got nothing to say, ain't said nothing, just watching the show. But no, Miss Stormy decides to insert herself when she's not needed, as she's been doing this whole time on the show, and ask Destiny, well, what happened? Destiny goes, I don't know, you need to ask her. And she went, but I'm asking you. And Destiny was like, but you need to ask her. I don't know. She's the one with the problem. So Stormy, but I'm asking you. And then even Kimmy had to chime in and say, Stormy, both of them can answer the question. Like, it don't have to just be her. She was like, but I wanted to hear her side of it and, see what was going on. Because, Mel don't never talk negative about them or nothing. So I was just trying to see. Well, then after the dinner, you and your friend go sit down and have a drink and y'all figure out or let you in on what's going on. I find that hard to believe though, because Mel been talking about it to everybody. I find it very hard to believe Mel never told you what was going down between her and Destiny. I find it extremely hard. But yeah, like Destiny was like, ask her, don't ask me. She gets all in her feelings and was just like, girl, you just trying to be like me. You want to be me. And I accept it. I receive it. You want to be like me. Child, Destiny was just like, all right, girl. Yeah. All right. You should want to be like you. And she was like, that's what's up. That what's up. This Stormy on the other side of the table. That's what's up. That's what's up. And this is what she forgot. Destiny's from Detroit. Now, I know location don't make you have hands, but it does make you have a certain type of reaction. Destiny was like, it is what's up. And she was like, yeah, that's what's up. And she was just like, it's gonna be what's up. Like, Destiny was like, I'm not Tiff. You're not about to play on me like this. So then Stormy gets all even more upset because Destiny ain't backing down from the bullshit. And she wants to continue to poke. And I'm sitting here going, Stormy, why? Why, Stormy? Nobody's even talking to you. Did you just feel like you needed to do something so you can get renewed for next season? What is we doing here? Like, why, Stormy? And then Melanie's sitting on the other side all flabbergasted and dumbfounded like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. You know that's your lap dog. You know what she's doing. You absolutely know what she's doing. She's trying to make a problem between, she's trying to make your problem with Destiny her problem, like she did with everything else. Coming in looking like a goddamn fan. I was just like, this was so ghetto. And it's just like, girl, y'all are business women, but respect is a thing still. And sometimes people got to keep their heels off and act like it is what it is because you can't just be doing that. But anyway, Kimmy was like, just let her finish. And then here comes Stormy. I wouldn't even want to go after that. Stormy decides to say, you don't want it with me. Destiny was like, bitch, that's the straw that broke the camel back. You don't want it with me. And all of a sudden, They stand up because Destiny stood up ready to. I'm talking about they had to have two people hold Destiny back. Stormy was talking her shit behind Mel, who wasn't even trying to hold her back, and Kimmy. But, baby, they had to damn near jump on Destiny. Destiny was about to beat your ass, Stormy. And with that, you needed your ass whipped because you jumped in something that ain't had nothing to do with you. Girl, why are you here? That's Stormy, go home. Go back to your hole. You say you like to be in the hole. Go back. Go back to your hole. We don't need you here. Because you are only here to be a gutter rat. Period. I'm not calling you a gutter rat, but you're only here to be a gutter rat. You come in having issues with every freaking body, and it never be your issue. It's always somebody else's. Go home, fat. We don't need you here. Go home. But that was the end of the episode. I ain't gonna lie, low-key, no, I wouldn't have wanted to see him fight. But if they had to fight, it would have made my day to see her slap the shit out of Stormy. Because Stormy, you asked for that. Nobody asked you nothing. This ain't had nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing. But that was the end of the episode, y'all. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought. Whose side y'all was on. Who was right, who was wrong. I know all my opinions ain't always right. I get it. You know what I mean? But I just be wanting to know what y'all think about it and what y'all feel. I just really want Stormy to go. She don't have nothing. What is your storyline anyway? I still don't know. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I will see you later. Bye.